Yeah, growing up for me was definitely tough. Single parent environment, you know, mum and dad split up when I was 4. And that was hard, you know. I remember everything very clearly. And I remember mum crying for days and days and days on end, and me trying to find a kind of healthy medium as a 4 or 5 year old, trying to find the best way to console her. So I think I kind of grew up pretty quickly. And that really spurred me on, I think, to want to succeed, to be able to contribute to our lives, because we're very poor, but there was a lot of love in my life at a very early age, from a big family, not just from mum. There was lots to be learned, I think, from growing up, especially in England, having my school there. I was always the bit of a misfit. I was very popular at school, or I thought I was anyway, but I mean, I had a lot of friends around me, I had a lot of good people around me, but I always kind of knew that I wanted to do something else than grow up and live in the same village which I was born in. So I persuaded mum one particular year to buy a video camera, like an old Hi8, I think they were back then. I would have been about 14 at the time. I just knew that I wanted to make something, and anything really, on television, and tell the story through my own kind of very unique eyes. And I persuaded mum to save up and buy this video camera, and it was the most expensive thing we owned probably ever. And I would just go around making little programs about what birds were living in my garden, what mum was doing that day. It really was an amazing time for me, because I was telling stories through television. I lived in a row of cottages in the UK on a riverbank. It was very beautiful. Mum was all about romantic notions and setting the scene with lamps here, there and everywhere, and open fires, and, you know, kind of this very Enid Blyton way of looking at life, which was kind of cool. But I was in the eaves, in the attic, which is the top floor in the roof, really. That's where my bedroom was, and I'd worked out that I could connect a cable from my camera into the antenna feed, which went downstairs to mum's television. So this was amazing for me, because I could press a button and appear on mum's TV downstairs during the ad breaks of Coronation Street or EastEnders, whatever soap she was watching at the time. And it was just such I can't describe the feeling that I got from being able to pop on TV to talk to mum. And mum used to watch me during the 3-minute slot, and I'd keep my eye on the TV. They had another TV to make sure I wasn't going to gate crash her show. And I'd come on air and I'd talk about things, do little shows for mum during the ad breaks. This one particular time, some of the neighbours came round, and they were having a bit of food with mum and a glass of wine, and I suddenly appeared on the TV downstairs. And they were kind of fascinated at how I'd worked out how to be on TV, and could I do my show on their TV as well during the ad breaks? And I was like, hell yeah. So I climbed into the roof and cabled my little cable into their TV as well. And this was amazing for me. It was such a great feeling appearing on their TV during the ad breaks. And so this grew, and of course, as soon as the neighbours were watching, mum wanted in on the show then. And I remember talking mum into being my co-host at the time, and as a 14-year-old, I was kind of very particular about what she was going to wear and the way she was going to act and be, and all of this sort of stuff. And that was the birth of this little pirate TV station, which operated from my bedroom. And this evolved because more and more neighbours wanted to take part, wanted to watch, wanted to put things on, because it was fun. And long story short is, back in the 90s, you could buy these little video sending transmitters. You could play a video downstairs from your VHS machine, and they would broadcast a signal to with a very weak, you know, kind of like 50 meters or something, and you could tune your TV in and watch a video wirelessly. And I'd bought one of these and tuned everybody's TV in to within about 100 meters of our house to actually get them to be able to watch my signal. That wasn't really enough for me because I wanted to broadcast further. I mean, this station was gathering momentum. I had a vision in my head. A friend had said to me, you know, you could boost the signal a little bit and maybe try and broadcast this signal using your mum's wok as a satellite dish. And so I just did that. I boosted the signal and had mum's wok covered in alfoil and pointed it out of my window, and lo and behold, I could bounce my signal to a much further audience, and all of a sudden we had an audience. The TV channel, albeit illegal, had viewers, and every Sunday night was a live 2-hour show which we did to the neighbourhood, just mum and I. And it's funny because we also lived across the road from a mental hospital, and they had semi-secure patients there, and I decided that I wanted to tune their TVs in as well so they could watch our programs every Sunday night. And we got to know these people, and we made programs about the facility, and we met the residents there, and we really helped address fears. You know, looking back, we helped address the fears and the stereotypes of what someone with a mental disability would have been, and those fears then became a warming welcome because people would get to know them because they'd seen them on the TV channel. So it was an amazing time of my life. It was about 18 months into doing the TV station that we had a phone call one day. And remember, this is back in the UK where, you know, you have to have a TV license, and they have detector vans outside your house ticking off whether you've got a TV brought, you know, like picking up a signal in your room against a database of whether you bought a license. So this one particular day, we had a phone call from a woman who was a TV director with a TV company in Sheffield, and she said, look, you know, we know about the station and we know about you and your mum, and of course my heart sank. This was it. I was going to jail. I'd see myself being locked up. I think I'd watched the Turkish Midnight Express film like weeks before, and I had these horrific images of me being locked away. And of course it wasn't quite like that. The lady said, I'm going to make a documentary about you, and I'm going to call it Walter-vision. And so the crew came in, and for me it was a real TV crew just making a show on me and my mum doing our TV station, which I just loved. It was my passion, it was my love, it was everything I loved doing. You know, it was going to be real. People were going to see this. And so I've met with some apprehension, but we did the TV documentary called Walter-vision. And, you know, that launched my career in television back then as a teenager. It definitely changed my life because it made a little name for me. And you know, whilst I was kind of adamant that I wanted to be a producer and make programs and have control over what people said, I did want to host deep down, but you know, for me it was about the making the programs and everything. I just never thought I would get anywhere doing presenting, but producing was the next best thing for me. That evidently then is what overtook my career and my life, and I went on to live and travel around the world, living in Turkey before settling in Australia as a late teenager, to continue my TV career. And I wanted to be able to show that people from my background can achieve amazing things. And you know, and I've been very blessed with where I am now as a 33-year-old to have traveled the world, made documentaries, hosted documentaries. You know, and to me, it's the same thing as what I was doing when I was 14. I'm making programs and telling stories through my eyes for other people to empathize with the way I see the world. And that's not changed since I was little in my bedroom, except of course, there's cameramen and sound guys and lighting guys now. And, you know, it's still my love, it's my blood, it's my passion. And that's what I'm about now is creating people stories and celebrating life and people, and you know, kind of exercising that passion for media I've got in a way which I can You know, I have done a lot, I guess, you know, as a 33, 34-year-old kid from Sheffield. But, you know, my career, as far as I'm concerned, is only just beginning. I mean, this whole industry of television, it's constantly evolving. I've got to evolve with it, and I've got more stories to tell, and there are billions of people out there on Earth with stories to tell. And I want to go out there and meet them and show them off and capture that human spirit, which I think is missed in a lot of TV today. You know, I think it's really missed. But I love interviewing people. I love talking to people. I love watching people unfold and their journey unfold in front of your eyes, and while you're filming it on camera. It's an amazing thing, and I'm just beginning, really. I think it's just starting for me.